Hey, back to the live craziness again, guys. Gonna have a pretty, I think, succinct coverage tonight, guys. I'm gonna go offense, Jaguars offense versus our defense first, and then our offense versus their defense. Try to keep it within about that half an hour range. I think this is going to be a very, very good evaluation for a team. I might be even a little salty tonight, um, because hold on a second. What's going on here? Because I had a funny comment in the podcast just recently, and so someone had he was saying like, "How do you have all these yards and then it doesn't translate into the regular season?" And I thought he was asking an honest question, so I decided to answer him in 2 paragraphs and spend my time. After that, he's like, "It's preseason, like, figure it out, like, I'm an idiot." So, I said to him, I said, "So, you're telling me that all these rush yards have value, uh, but preseason itself doesn't have value." So, I wanna cover a couple things, tonight, and start out just with the understanding that Atlanta Falcons and Houston, we practice with them all week. And when you're practicing against somebody all week, you begin to learn their tendencies, you begin to learn their weaknesses, and it gives you an edge. And so it's not to write anything off, but you have to take that into account. This week with the Jags, we're not going to have that advantage. So this is going to be a little different. And I responded to the guy, I said, uh, preseason, it has value because they wouldn't be doing it unless it had value. But the ability for us viewers to garner information is a little bit more difficult. It's far more difficult than the regular season. And even the regular season can be difficult, but there is a process of which you evaluate. Now, we have a lot of rush yards, and I got some film I'm gonna use to cover the run game, but I felt like the offensive line was gonna get the biggest test from the Jacksonville Jaguars, uh, but from what I'm seeing now, from what I'm feeling with the injuries, Jaguars have a bunch of injuries on their D-line, and I think that our secondary is going to be the primary level of evaluation. You got Lawrence, Calvin Ridley, who's getting better and better. Hasn't played for 2 years. Very talented guy. Christian Kirk. And then that's going to really test who do we have? How is this secondary gelling? We'll probably see these two groups, first string groups, for at least a quarter and a half. And so this secondary is going to get one of the top quarterbacks in the league who's mobile, and then they're going to have 2 quality receivers to go against. Brenton Strange, who they drafted in the second round of tight end, number 61. He's having an excellent preseason, and so it will kinda affect or test multiple levels of this defense, and so I think that is going to be our primary interest. Now, Noah, a lot of I am hoping things could turn around. We'll see. This will be a good opportunity. Cam, I'm not sure if he's playing with a bad shoulder. Cater, you always got Cater. You got Cater in there and X. And then Apple. Someone needs to step forward to be that second guy on the boundaries. Cater, I think, is gonna be inside, although he could maybe play boundary depending on, wait how when Ramsey comes back. But that week 1 against the Chargers is going to be another tough game. And so it will be very, very interesting to see how that plays out. So, 1 second. Let me see. My audio's going in and out. Just man, I I thought I had it worked out. It's really that bad, brother? Lucky 18? Ah, damn. Let me see. I don't know what the deal is. Man, I wish I had one of you tech wizards here. Thanks, brother. I wish I had one of you tech wizards here with me. I'm a crow magnet. So, anyways, I appreciate that, Lucky. I appreciate that. Um, thank you, man. Sorry. I'm still trying to work this thing out. I don't get it. I gotta try to figure it out. Anyway, so I hope it's not too bad. Um, so this secondary is really gonna get a testing, and we're not gonna have Wilkins, and we're gonna get a couple of checks. This without Wilkins, what is his run defense gonna look like? And you got, Hasty and Etienne and a pretty solid offensive line, and that's gonna force maybe the secondary to have to play a little extra, and we're not making calls to win and all that. You're just looking at base looks, you're looking at matchups and stuff like that, but you still wanna see these guys perform. This is the dress rehearsal. Hopefully, I do better than my audio. So I do believe that this is going to be an excellent look for us. I'm really very interested in seeing, Trevor Lawrence with his mobility. He likes to get out, and seeing how Chubb and Phillips handle that with the heavy run game. I know Chubb can handle, the run game. I'm very interested in seeing on how Phillips does as well. And then you're gonna have, Long and Baker possibly getting tested over the middle by the backs and the tight end situation with Strange, who I don't know, he was on my radar. I'm very interested to see how he plays out. Now, they drafted, Robinson, I believe it is, the, tackle. Oh, no, Harrison. They got him 27th overall rookie. I'm looking to see what this kid does, man. I love to see offensive linemen. This kid's playing really good, man. It looks like he's gonna be a steal. This offensive line's not gonna have Cam Robinson. He's gonna be out. So overall, I think that's gonna be the greatest, clearest test for us. The Jags, I guess I'll get to off our offense versus their defense. I originally thought this was gonna be the key test and the key check for us because, you know, I've had these conversations. I think the run game is what we saw, just not to the magnitude we saw it. I believe that we can pop those big plays. It's gonna be a little inconsistent. The level at which we can pop and the consistency a second, let me see what your, thing is here. Okay. Since you're the, person asking the question, I will definitely, ask, how important is the DL with this new defensive scheme? Are linebackers and DBs more important, if that makes sense? Well, yeah, it does. They all make sense. They're all tied together. But you remember, Fangio doesn't like the blitz. When you go back and you look at him, with Chicago, in his best seasons, his blitzes were like 20%. So he's getting his pressure from his front talent, but that front talent is being supported by an excellent secondary that's allowing, them time to hit. Some people are down on Phillips from last year, he only has 7 sacks or whatever it was, but the secondary was so poor that he wasn't getting and the rest of these blitzes weren't getting time to hit. Everything had to be ultra quick arrivals to get those sacks. So, the secondary, it's more if you wanna put predominance on it, it's safeties, and it's gonna have to be I've read someplace who what they said was predominantly the most important thing. Safeties clearly were one of them. I think edge players are n I you know, I would say if you get some real good pressure with your edges, it's gonna take a lot off to help out the secondary, but safeties are probably the most important because 'cause they're tying everything together. As long as they do their job, you get to live to fight another down. they screw up and you get quick touchdowns, then that's gonna kill this defense. This is a bend but don't break defense, and those safeties, the way they mirror and the way they come up and the way they create confusion causes the quarterback to have to hesitate, and it kinda sets the table for everything else. So I think linebackers are very important, because they tie the front and the back together, and they help with the center, but I would say safeties are probably the most important. That's old Fangio. What is he doing to alter things? I don't know. That's a real good question, though, brother. It does totally make sense. I would say internal pressure is gonna be very important for this defense. You're rushing 4 and, you get that interior pressure, it throws the quarterback off the mark, and now you got real problems. When you come from the edge and you're looping around, those quarterbacks can step up, and time is a very big enemy towards zone coverage. So, anyway, I think our defense is going to have to show something. We're gonna have to see another guy step up. Apple's played pretty good at the back end stuff, but I don't trust him. No, I don't trust. X, I totally trust. Health is the most important thing, obviously. So I think that's an important thing and a clear thing. But now the offense part, I think it's going to create a little bit of their secondary isn't very good. They've got what do they got? They got only one real cornerback. They've got, what's this cat's name? Hold a second. They got Tyson Campbell, who's a real good corner. And then they got Darius Williams, who's kind of like a little bit of a victim now. We don't have Waddle to totally abuse these guys, but I do believe Tua is gonna do what Tua did last week against Houston. He's gonna have a similar effect this week. I'm not really too worried at all about Tua. I think he's gonna be able to land the mark. He's gonna do good against this secondary. But I really wanna see I want the truth to come out about this offensive line. I believe that it's not terrible and it's not awesome as we've seen. It's somewhere in the middle. It's just where in the middle it is. Now, without these guys on the front, they run a 4-3. So you got 3 guys usually, and sometimes they're running a nickel look, which is 4 down linemen, 4 guys with their hand in the dirt, and then, 2 guys over in linebacker. They run a lot of your typical 3-4 with 3 guys with their hands in the dirt, and that nose tackle and those 2 D ends, they play a huge part in trying to suck up blocks, free up the linebackers. These linebackers are excellent. It'd be a great test and opportunity to sharpen our swords if they were a full complement. So it's gonna be very interesting. We don't have to run, and so I'm very interested to see how we handle these guys. I think we're gonna be able to run. We're gonna have to run in the middle. I just don't think we're gonna get as many of those big chunk yards, but I think we'll get a more realistic look. So these are if you go back and you look at our plays last week, let me start from the beginning here. These 4 plays totaled about 100 yards of our 205-yard day, 4 plays. And I'm gonna go through them quick so we can, see them all here. And I'm gonna start showing you some little stuff that, you know, preseason does have this fog of war. Nothing wrong with these runs. These are great runs. But how would they start? How did they come about? And that's where you really gotta kinda start analyzing the value. And it comes out with these one-on-one situations where you might not see the same kinda thing, second. Is this it? Alright. This is the slow-mo version. Alright, so this is the 3rd and 14. Great play, and if you look at 65, that's Robert Jones. Now, I made a mistake, a faux pas. Sheldon Rankins did play, and right now, Jones is working on Rankins, who's a vet. He's not great. Hey, Samuel, man, how's the audio, brother? Am I going in and out again? Am I tech monkeying it again? If I am, you guys are great. I do apologize, Samuel. I'm I gotta get a tech wizard, man. So this makes me love Robert Jones more. He's, in his 3rd year, I believe, 3rd year, and he took Sheldon Rankins and moved him out of the way. But look at this hole. You see the linebacker on the backside, the top over here took the wrong route, and now you see Croft going against number 39, Henry Tutu. He's a rookie, 5th round rookie. I'm screwing his name up. But he is 6'1", 228 rookie, meeting Croft in the hole, 6'6", 252 with 7 years of experience. And you see, this is a giant hole. You see 40 here, misses the mark, came inside instead of outside. Beautiful run by A-Chain, flashing that speed, gets past one guy, then he gets wrapped here. Now, I'm gonna go on a side note here. Watch, A-Chain kinda stop fighting, and this is something he's gonna have to learn. He kinda is just not fighting here, and then he gets picked up, which should have been a penalty. Um, but he's gotta learn to this is a much more violent than college. He's gotta fight all the way through that, but you'll rarely see a hole like this. Now, again, I love Robert Jones moving rankings, but watch this Tutu. He's 228 pounds, totally just destroyed here. This is not, uh, translatable. You're gonna have a much better guy in the hole, and you're not likely to see this too often. You might with the way we run things. I don't think you can see 4 plays like this, in an entire game all season. This is very rare what you're seeing here. And a lot of it's exasperated because you have a vet going against a rookie. Now, we had, a vet getting taken out by Jones. Now, here's the next play. Watch the end. His name is Jacob Martin, 45, bottom right by the tight ends, right over the 1st and 10 mark. He's 6'2", 242, and he had one decent year in run defense last year with the Jets, but beyond that, he's been terrible. He's gonna go against Cedric O, who's 6'5", 305, and likely you're not gonna see a 242 guy, his hand in the dirt, having to play edge control. And he totally gives up his edge. Now, he's going inside, and he works his way around, and then watch Tutu again, he's 39 backside, and he's right in front of the tight end here, and he's totally frozen. And again, look at what you have here. This is a huge, huge hole. You rarely see this. And it's because, I mean, if we had a great run blocking offense, like you've seen some maybe, but this is very, very rare, this kind of space. Nothing to take away from it, but you've got guys, a 5th round pick, the rookie, and then you got Martin. And so it does Hey, what's going you? What's up, brother? Sorry, I didn't know you was over here. My mind is focused on my dead audio. Uh, hey, what's going on? Yeah, what's the deal? What's the news? Anything on the Colts? It just I mean, I don't think they're being stubborn. I think they're just playing smart. I think I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't think they can give him away for a song and a dance. Um, what's the news? Just hand me the news if you got any. So that's that play. And now we'll go to the next run play. And okay, I meant to put this like a little discombobulated. Um, when you play a team all week, you get to learn their weaknesses and their strengths. Both Atlanta was the 23rd run defense, Texans the 32nd run defense. And when you have bad defenses, you'll notice 2 things. They're always there for bad defenses: poor spacing and lack of edge control. Now, when I did my top 5 plays, I put the Mostert play in there because it was an inside run, and something like that would play out in the regular season. But these defenses, they struggle with spacing and edge control, and bad spacing accentuates bad edge control. And so that's something you have to remember when you get these giant chunk yards. I would be more excited if you were knocking off 5 and 6 yards. But watch here. You'll see, look at the edge control here. Tutu's another, he's right in front of 75, and they totally all get sucked in. And there's somebody, I'm telling you guys, aren't doing their job. There's poor spacing here by the edge players, and they're not having edge control. And you see Tutu right there. He's getting 2 guys right next to the tight end. Tight end's actually tackling one guy. So this is not something that's really translatable. It can happen against poor defenses, but this is very unlike we got hot news flash here from you. Uh, Barry Jackson said we offered a reasonable deal. Many people are taking that to mean we had a second pick in there, but the Colts are reportedly hell bent on the first. Don't see us offering the first though. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I mean, they have control of him for 2 years. You know, they can put a tag on him next year. The tag is so low. They're paying $4 million for him this year, and then they tag him next year for what, 10 or something, or some ridiculous amount. So they got this kid for 2 years, and there's nothing you can do about it unless he wants to quit the game. So, you know, they've got the power position. I don't know. I think that a second and a bunch of back end picks is still a lot, man. I think second. Adrian, what's going on, brother? Hey, Kurt, would you trade Wilkins for a first and JT? No, no. I look. I mean, I understand. Do you know how hard it is to get a good player with the first round pick? We struggled for a long, long, long time. You know, when I was in college, my little junior stint, they were looking for these big guys that could move. That's all I heard the scouts talking, like, the size, like, "Man, it's so hard to find these guys." And, you know, obviously, it's true. There's only so many of these big guys that move like that. You get big guys and you get guys that move. You very rarely find big guys that move. Wilkins is special. He's been constrained in a system that doesn't give him the pretty stats. But for me, you lock Wilkins up. He's a little bit older, and I get that, you know what I'm saying? But you can get that first round pick, and then you get Taylor. Taylor's had loads of injuries. Look at last year, 4.5 yards per carry, and that offensive line was better than ours. And you go back and you look at it, and he's a really good back, but he's not making stuff happen behind the line of scrimmage. You get him to that second level, and that's when he feasts. To me, you move Sealer. I don't wanna move Sealer, but Sealer's a guy, uh, well, sort of, but not the way you think. It's you know, this is my evaluation. I mean, you're not gonna sign Davis big time unless he blows up this season. He struggled, he's tall, he's a little out of the prototype you want. He hasn't had any dominant seasons. He was injured his knee twice for 2 seasons, so really can't bank on that. Seal is even older than Wilkins, and I like him, but how how much are these guys feasting off what Wilkins does? When you look at his stats, I don't wanna get into it here, this guy is a stud. He is by far our best player. To me, you've got Chubb, you've got Phillips, both of them will thrive if you got a guy like Wilkins inside. You can get another guy to help you out on the edge with Seal. I like Seal a lot, but I can't see investing that much, uh, in Sealer and then letting Wilkins go. So to me, I keep the 2 guys we have to keep is Hunt and Wilkins. Connor, I want to keep, but his snapping issue is a little bit of a thing. I get some good comments over here. I love those comments. Uh, let's see. No way would you trade Wilkins a huge lock. Yeah, he's a huge locker room to get. That's another big thing. Like Seal is a great guy, but Wilkins is special, and I don't think Dolphin fans truly get how special he is. I don't even think a lot of them get how special Phillips is. You know, and a lot of it's that pass rushing number, but I think that is a little bit of a misnomer agent, so I wouldn't move him. To me, they just got Josh Jones from the Cardinals. Who was it? I can't remember. For like a 5th round pick. And this guy played solid for like 200 reps. We could have got a good guy like that. You get a good offensive line, all of a sudden your running backs start looking like a genius. I really do believe our offensive line has issues. Anyway, I got good questions. Yeah, Texans. That's right. Yeah, the Texans. So now I want to take it back again. So now, okay, this is a great play. This is the huge 60 yard run. you can't knock any of it. I love how Ahmed was patient. He didn't We're at 1 minute left of the second half. These guys are 3rd and 4th stringers of the 32nd rush defense in the league last year. And I wanna watch how poorly either we've got genius blockers or these guys are terrible. So, you get the pitch outside, and you've got who was the receiver over here? He soaks up 2 guys at the top, and then you got Tutu over here. He gets picked up by, the center. I can't remember the guy's name, who, the Islander guy who's not really any good. 2 blockers got 3 guys here. You look at, the safety who's between the lineman and the receiver, he's not shooting. Why is he engaging like Velcro here? And now you got a tight end running free and clear on your safety. How many guys are on the ground? How many guys are soaked up? How many times have you saw this last year? You rarely, rarely see these kind of runs that he's totally not even touched, and he goes 60 yards. And so it's not to say I think we can get 1 of these or 2 of these a game, but I don't think we can get this much. And the ease and, guys that are getting thrown on the ground, it is not, I think, translatable. Now, I could be that I can be wrong. If you listen to me for a while, I do monkey things up, but, I got a disagreement. DF. I Smart guy, he knows more about than me. I gotta disagree with you about Sealy. He's a playmaker since he got to Miami. His value for what he brings is higher than Wilkins. He and Wilkins, I believe, played off each other. I totally agree on that. And but I think that if you have to choose, Wilkins makes more plays and he's more effective because he could play inside more stately. Like, I love Steeler, and I know you know a ton about this, uh, more than I do. But when you watch Sealy, he really works well outside on the edge. But if you got a guy on the edge, who's the guy inside soaking that stuff up to make it to free him up? If you watch Wilkins, he spends a lot of time getting through 2 guys, and he's inside on that scrum, and so this is just my evaluation, but I believe that Wilkins is the guy that frees people up. Now, we'll see, uh, Jacksonville will be a good test on that. Kinda sucks that Sealer's got the bad knee. To me, Sealer's a year older, he's 29, and I just would prefer because he's gonna want about 18 to 20,000,000. And I just am big I'm a big Wilkins guy, so, uh, I don't want you're bigger than me, so I don't wanna disagree with you, but I gotta on this one. Not saying I'm right. I'm excited to see what Davis does. I am too. I love Raekwon Davis. I think that that kid in 2020 was just stellar. He just had me so excited with the way he was dominating. And I just didn't think he was going to. He's so tall. I was like, "Oh, maybe this is like an avant-garde, new style nose tackle." And then he got the knee hit, and then it was the same knee and injured the year after. I would love to see what this guy does. I mean, I think you might be able to keep him for a lower kinda deal. Uh, "Hey, Lucas, what's going on, brother?" Don't worry about it, man. 81 hours this week. Man, surprised you're here. You're crazy. I'd be sleeping if I were you. Yeah. I see that picture, man. That neck is gigantic. Anyway, so I like Raekwon Davis, but I gotta see him stay healthy. I gotta see what he does in the system. I think that the gap and a half system, where he rides with one hand and he scouts that a half a gap in front of him, I think it's gonna work a lot better for him. Um, you're a great man. Great man. I'm gonna send you extra money in that Christmas card. But to me, guys, to me, Wilkins is this defense as far as that interior, because You look at Phillips, he's gotten better at stopping the run, but Wilkins, man, what this guy's gonna do, especially in this gap and a half system, he's utterly dominated in this camp like nobody else. So to me, we gotta Duke, what's going on, brother? What am I missing? Oh, man, a monkey. To me, you gotta keep Wilkins. Sealer, I really, really like him a lot, but I I don't think that you're gonna be able to find I think you could find a guy on the edge, to kinda do some of the things that he's doing, not as well because I love his hustle, I love his speed, I love his talent. Um, does Tyndale see field one Duke? That is a big question. We signed a Fangio guy, who's a linebacker, and that concerns me a little bit. I know he's gotten good grades, but it's back end stuff. So I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna see how it goes. This guy's gotta step up. I mean, you can go I'm not like a Johnny after the fact. I was screaming for Zach Tom. They brought him in the building and they talked to him. This guy is playing at an unbelievable level. I wanted Zach Tom so bad. We could have him this third, and I believe the fourth. We could have had him over Easy and Tyndall. Um, I'm gonna be crying if Tyndall doesn't pan out and Easy doesn't pan out. We missed so big. Zach Tom is playing tackle, guard, and I believe maybe even center. I'm not sure. No tackle and guard and doing unbelievable. He's Tyndall's gotta show, man. Let's see, with this defense on the bench, you help defensive line and the Willis, yeah, I mean, it depends. I think zone, you don't need as much. Uh, yeah, Chanel too. He's played really well. I remember I'm not a big college guy. I'm gonna be honest, but I remember a bunch of guys in the comments were like, "Should have taken Chanel." He started and played well in the playoffs. It doesn't mean anything. You got to see. I mean, but slow developing linebackers, instinct and read problems is not a great sign. Um, yeah, Fangio's gonna help everybody. Fangio's smart. He's gonna have his zone. So it's nice when you can rely on your brains over having to be the fastest guy. I mean, you can go a lot farther and find more guys when you're running zone, but it comes down to it's more dependent. The zone's more dependent on the front. And so there's a lot that goes into it. Every defense has a strength and its weakness. I think as a defense was very difficult from a personnel standpoint to find those two corners to play man all day. So I think this is a much, much better draft friendly defense with Fangio. And Fangio is going to create a situation where the quarterback's going to have to do more than just read these crazy blitzes. He's going to have to worry about the coverage, but then you're going to have to find the guys, and that might take a little time. It may take some time for the guys to develop into this defense. I'm not really too highly concerned about the defense. I think Fangio is going to make it better than it was last year. If that answers all the questions, I think. Um, one last point I want to, well, maybe a little bit more get to, but Josh Allen on Jackson. You're gonna get. I mean, if you haven't seen Josh Allen, this guy is a hound. He is jacked. He is serious business. And so Jackson's gonna I guys, we have, Keion White now in this division with the Pats. You've got Vaughn and Oliver, and you got Williams and McDonald. These guys are physical studs, and you're gonna get to see, is Jackson really what we've been told? He's gonna see Josh Allen on a bunch of plays, and we're gonna get to learn a lot. That is a big time deal. Now, they also got, some other good guys, but they're out, but they also have what's the cat's name? Trayvon Walker is kinda finding his way, and so you got Lamb on one side, and you're gonna have Jackson on the other side. Me, I worry about Lamb's power. So Lamb's gonna get tested, Jackson's gonna get tested, and that's gonna be very, very interesting. And so I think this is going to be good valuation. I'm concerned. I think that if any ammo we've got, should still invest in the offensive line, but we'll see. This is my evaluation. Now, what else I gotta say? I think that might be the whole deal. As a little bit more, but I think I got like a head cold, so my brain's a little fuzzy. Does anybody got anything else they want to talk about? Any other points before we get out of here? Sorry, guys. I think my brain might be a little fried tonight. So I think that's really basically the whole deal. Barrios, yeah, or easy. Barrios, Barrios. The only problem is that's a good question, man. That's a good question, Duke. I love you guys, but I never even thought about that. See, I love uh, okay, this is the problem we got. We need Easy E to step up because we got Hill, Waddle, the Chosen, and Berrios, and they're all poor run blockers. Hill's good run blocker when he gets to that second level, he cuts guys off, and occasion no one to drive guys out on the edge. And so Easy E, if he can actually come in, big guy, if he can come in and play on that edge and drive some guys off in the blocking department, it's gonna be big for us because we don't have any really block. We're gonna miss Sherfield. Sherfield is a very good player. He had about 3 or 4 big catches and tons of good blocks. And it was weird that he went we could have had him, but Bill offered more guarantee on him. And I think that tough is gonna be a little bit missed. So I would say, Berrios because I don't trust Easy E just yet. And Chosen, um, Chosen, I like Chosen a lot, but he can't block. He's terrible. He might be the worst run blocker we got, like, by a long shot. Uh, Adrian, it's a long season for those big men. You know, we need to. Oh yeah, yeah. That's why I don't understand. Josh Jones is like a solid player, and he's a good back, better than like what we got. I mean, I think he's better than Lamb. You know, I think he doesn't have the experience, maybe, but I think he's definitely better than I don't know, win it on at tackle. But it is what it is, guys. This is what we got. Maybe it's enough. I mean, it's all going to change with time. It's all about Tyron's health. Um, DF. Another thing to watch, yes, wide receiver blocking is real and so yeah, it is. I remember when we first got here, some commenters were saying, and you got to check out his take on wide receivers blocking. And Hill surprised. Yeah, I know. I'm just tired, man. I'm getting old, man. This sucks. I was watching Old Man in the Sea. I got my daughter and young son were reading Old Man in the Sea. Watched the Spencer Tracy version today, man. I feel like that. A man can be destroyed, but he can't be defeated. I definitely feel like he could be destroyed. I'm going downhill. I was like, Sam was got a question. Duke Berrios is our third easy, I believe. Our Debo Okay, this is good. It's a good point, and I've seen people say that Easy is our Debo, and I'll disagree on that. That's my evaluation. I'm not saying I'm right. Oh man, Logan. Oh man, you're a comic guy. I really like you, man. I like you a lot. Oh, let me get back to this. Yeah, I'm a comic nerd. Okay, Easy E. I like Easy E in some fashion for Debo, but guys, Debo is 6 foot, 215, 220, and he's 6'2", 205. And Debo, I've said this before, Debo, when you watch Debo and you watch the defense pucker up when he comes to that line of scrimmage, when he goes in the backfield, because they don't know where he's going. He could go inside. He can go outside. He can go out for a reception. He can come out into a flank position. They don't know where he's going. He can go anywhere. When you're 6 foot, 215, 220, that's like a running back size. When you're 6'2", 205, and you run inside, your knees, that 2 inches, your knees are a lot higher. You've got 300-pound guys that can get their hands on you with another guy at your legs, and you're getting pulled this way with your legs. You need meat to suck that inside. And if you're not threatening the inside, it alters a lot of the puckering of the defense's keister. They know you're not if they know you're not coming inside, now they have less to be concerned with. Debo everywhere. He could do a fly, he could do a route, he can run inside, he can go outside, and that is why Debo is Debo. But Debo has been taking hits, been a little nicked up. I just don't think Easy E can pull that off. Some things to the edge, there's things that he can do, like half of his repertoire, but I don't think he's got the whole deal. A piece, yes, and I do believe that, but just not an equal factor. Hey, Cliff, what's going on, brother? Cliff does Wilkins doesn't have the sacks of Joe. Okay. All right, that's a good one, man. I wanna go lay down, man, but you give me these good things. Listen, you if you look okay, so Wilkins Phillips, this guy was blowing people away. I mean, like, he was in there in 2 seconds, and he couldn't get the sack because the ball was getting out quicker. We had no secondary to buy this guy time. You go look at Akeem Hicks before and after Fangio, and Akeem Hicks is like a good comp for Wilkins, but a less athletic and a less productive player pre-Fangio. 55 stops, 8, 8 blocked balls, 3 sacks, I don't know how many pressures, but he was in a non-conducive environment. I'm not saying he can deliver in a conducive environment, but it is very uh, somebody give me a compliment, so I gotta be a narcissist. Yes, the Brainiacs did. Thanks, man. Thanks, I appreciate that. But again, it's like Phillips, Cliff. People are saying, he's not that good. He didn't have that. I remember when he got 7.5 sacks or 8 sacks where he broke Lawrence Taylor's sack record. Everybody's like, he's great. He's the next Taylor. I'm like, no, he's not. He can't stop the run. You what's wrong with you? You don't like him. He comes back next year, and I was like, oh man, this guy's doing really good. They're like, he's not good. This guy had like the most pressures in the league, but he couldn't get the sacks because the secondary wasn't there. You go back and you watch, I think that if Wilkins plays in Fangio's system, and I think it's one reason why he's patient. He knows. I think he really knows. If you look at Akeem Hicks, he was like a 4-sack guy, then he went up to 8 and 10, and he's not the athlete that Wilkins is. You put Wilkins in Fangio's system that's running right, and he has that second and a half extra because the quarterback's gotta go through an extra read, and the quarterback's got some good coverage he's dealing with, not the 28th and the 32nd or whatever it was, third down defense. Now you're gonna see all he needs to do is get to, like, I don't know, 8 sacks, 9 sacks, what he's doing in the run defense, and that I think he could do better than that. I think he can get a 10. I think he can get 10 sacks if this is run right because he's fast, he's quick, his, 10 in the 40, the first 10 yards in the 40 is excellent, better than Akeem Hicks. Akeem Hicks got 8 and 10 sacks with a much less defense. He had Mack. So I think, Cliff, I disagree. Again, not saying I'm right. This is my eval, and I think Wilkins, he's just getting started, and I think he knows it. I think he knows it, and that's why I think he's playing. He's a smart guy. On top of everything else, he's cheap and smart, so he's not going to screw himself out of money. I think he's definitely worth 20 plus. I think it was Omar said 20 big plays, and I think I covered it last time. 8 block passes, 55 stops, 3.5 sacks, bunch of pressures, forced fumble. This guy's the heart of the defense. And so I disagree, but I guess that's what it's all about. We'll see. We'll see, guys. Anyway, I appreciate everything, guys. I hope the tech side wasn't a disaster. I apologize. I'll try to get that thing worked out. I don't know what to deal with buzzing. You guys are the best. I appreciate you listening to this monkey. I'm not going to be here next week. We go back to my hometown, visit my chums and friends, and we're going to paint the town red, or I just sit and watch videos and movies and eat pizza and stuff. But so I'll be back the following Friday. You guys, like I said, I'm right. If somebody says I'm right, we can't end without talking about that. You're right, 100% right about this being something to look for in changes. Now I'm calling it rat time. Oh, yeah, we got another one? Did somebody say something? Samuel. Uh, Man, I love this game so much, I don't even wanna leave. Wilkins didn't have the corners last season like you have now, and Wilkins is a captain as well, a huge locker room guy. He's one of the fastest D linemen in the league. Yeah, sometimes you don't appreciate what you got until it's gone, until like the Jim Morrison song, until you love her madly and just walking out the door. This guy is a keeper, man. He's a guy who's been healthy. I think Dolphin fans don't realize. I think they get too fixated on sack stats. So anyway, guys, again, you're the best. I will talk to you all soon. I'll have a podcast before I fly out. Enjoy the game tomorrow. I'll have coverage right after that. We'll see what the evaluations are. We get better tomorrow than we were today, guys. Appreciate it. Be well. See you soon.